Hello, guys. Welcome to the next episode of the Premier League preview. My name is Chris. I've got a couple of new people with me today. I've got Darth and Riaz, so they'll introduce themselves a little bit, and we're just going to mainly focus on some of the fixtures, and then at the end we're going to discuss VAR in a little bit of detail. So, if Darth wants to go,
everybody, you now have a voice to the name for the first time ever. And I hope you're all doing well. First time being on here, so enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a little bit different this week.
Hi guys, it's me, Riaz. I'm known as the babyface assassin on Chris's Discord server.
Yes, you've got a baby face, right?
Yeah. That's cool. Something that stuck with me for a while now.
Yeah, well. Okay, so let's jump into it, and I'll get your thoughts on this. But the first game is Everton versus Newcastle, and I think this will be quite a key game for Newcastle.
God. No, forget about Newcastle. This is the easiest game for Everton ever. Every time I've watched Everton, it's like watching a snail cross the road. Yeah. I mean, every time I've watched Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's absolutely shocking how they play football.
I don't understand how Steve Bruce sets up his team and go, yeah, with these players, we're going to set up as a defensive unit. Like, you've got Callum Wilson. The guy knows where the back of the net is.
Yeah, he's scored a few goals this year already, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think it's a critical game for Newcastle because I think Steve Bruce is on the edge, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And he's lost the last few games and they're teetering close to the relegation zone. So, you know, if he loses this game, I can see him getting sacked, to be honest, and that's the way I see it. But I don't see them beating Everton, because Everton have got Calvert-Lewin back up front, and he's on forms, and they've got James Rodriguez sitting behind him. So,
who just hit an absolute belting goal against Leicester? If anybody's seen it,
yeah,
absolutely unreal.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Everton winning this game.
What's your score prediction on that one?
I think we're looking 3-0. I'm going 3-0 on that one. What about you guys?
As a Man United fan, I actually hate Newcastle. I despise them. But
I would love it. I would absolutely love it if we beat them.
Yeah.
But because I feel so sorry for them, I'll say they score one goal and it'll be 3-1 to Everton.
You've been nice, aren't you? What about you, Duff?
He took my prediction, 3-1. I think they'll score, but it will be because I don't trust Jordan Pickford as far as I could throw him with his little arms.
He's not been great, has he, recently? Oh dear.
Honestly, I don't understand how he gets England #1, but that's for another rant. I'll go on at another time.
I don't understand how Joe Linton plays for Newcastle. Honestly. They spent 30 million on him, and all he is a body. He's a body on that pitch.
He doesn't play.
He was actually really good at Hoffenheim. Like, his goal-to-game ratio in Hoffenheim was fantastic, so I understand why Newcastle went, he looks all right.
Yeah. But it's Premier League, though. It's a different game, isn't it? When they come into, there's a lot of players that have come into it for a year or two and not looked up to scratch. So, I can't see Newcastle winning or getting close to that game, so it's going to be a straight win for Everton. They might concede a goal, as you said, with Jordan Pickford, but let's see. What do you reckon about the next game then? Because we've got Crystal Palace and Wolves, and they've both been out of form as well, haven't they? And that's starting at 3:00.
Wolves are a weird.
Wolves haven't won in a while.
They're a weird, dizzy team. Like, they can rock up against like the top 6 and play outstanding, yet come up against Fulham and struggle. And I don't get it. Like, maybe the formation suits against Big 6 teams because they usually go for the 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, however you want to look at it.
Yeah,
it's all interpretation. But
Wolves have just signed Willian Jose, haven't they? So they've got a striker coming.
Yeah, I feel for Fabio Silva, but he's done all right for an 18-year-old. You know, there's a great player.
I think with Crystal Palace is how you get Zaha involved in the game.
I think they don't need to worry about Zaha anymore.
They got
It's
easy
all
as well,
about,
haven't they?
Yeah.
He's
Eze.
quality. Yeah, he's a quality player, isn't he?
I think if they can get him playing well in the game, they can get something out.
Eze is absolutely. I think the idea was they were going to sell Zaha this summer and replace him with Eze, but that didn't happen because no one wants to pay 80 million for Zaha when I don't think he's worth 80 million.
I think he'll
Especially
go in the summer, though. I don't see him staying another season, surely. I mean, he's wasted himself, I think, at Palace. If he
I think
wants,
he'll go dormant as Sancho replacement.
maybe. I mean, he's a little bit older, though, isn't he? It's not something that they would replace. I don't direct replacement for Sancho.
They're kind of like, rumor has it they're trying to move away from the selling model and
Yeah, they are
trying
trying to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I think it's going to be a boring game, but that's because I just think Wolves haven't been great. And neither.
But then losing Jimenez is brutal.
That's massive, wasn't it?
Yes.
He was their front man, and they tried to replace him with Fabian Silva, and I think he's a little bit too young yet, and he hasn't learned his craft in the Premier League. So I think it's going to be like a 0-0 draw, that game.
I'm going to go 1-1. 1-1.
What about you, Riaz?
Really? You guys don't think Wolves would win?
No,
definitely not. Not the recent form.
So you guys are saying if Pedro Neto and Podence are not starting, you don't think they would win?
They'll start, but I just don't. Palace are an all good team, and they're pretty much in the exact same spot on the table. Only goal difference separates them.
Well, look what they did to Arsenal. They frustrated them. That's what they do the same with Wolves. And Wolves tried to play a similar style up front where they try and attack with Neto and Podence. And I just think that's just going to be a bit of a chess game. It's going to be 0-0, I think. I don't see any goals going in that game. I don't but anyway.
I'm going to go with a 2-1 Wolves.
Oh, right.
Nice goal.
Just exit.
All right. I have a word for the next game that's coming up, Man City, Sheffield United. I'm not sure if it's allowed on stream.
Sheffield, I beg you, Sheffield, please, I'm begging right now.
I was going to say Bukkake.
McGoldrick, for once in your life, play good against a team that's not Man United.
I'm going to go City 5, Sheffield United. No, this is going to be an absolute slaughter of the Lambs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting it out there, but obviously they beat Man United. I know that was disappointing for you guys, but I think just the way it was set up, that game, you could see why they won it. But I think with the Man City's form at the moment, I'm going with Darth for this. So at least 4 goals they're going to score. Man City just don't look like they're going to stop scoring. So, and they've not even got a recognised striker. I know Jesus is there, but I don't
like the false 9 that Pep's adopted. It's been fantastic. Like, I as a neutral, because I love football and I love United, it hurts seeing the City. But as a neutral, you go, bloody hell, what's going on here then?
Gundogan also popping in goals from the midfield.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're on form at the moment. They're on form.
And it was when they beat Chelsea 3-1. That's when that form hit. All of a sudden, they just went.
And they've still got De Bruyne's out, and they're still scoring goals. So it just tells you the depth that they've got in that squad.
Yeah, it's like a couple of years back. It was like, oh, all right, I'll go mark De Bruyne. All right, then who's got David Silva? All right, I'll go mark David Silva. You mark De Bruyne. Who's got Bernardo Silva? All right, you, and then eventually you just go, wow, we can't mark everybody.
They're my favourites at the moment to win the league. Just the way they're set up and how Pep knows how to manage for a season. So I'm going Man City 4-0.
Yeah, I agree with that 4-0 to Man City.
Yeah, and Sheffield United have got a few injuries out anyway. So, and they're missing that missing Berge, aren't they? So, they're not going to win that game at all. It's going to be easy.
I'm definitely going to be watching that game as a Sheffield United fan.
We have an absolute cracker game next one. The next game is an absolute scorcher. A big one. West Brom Fulham.
Oh my goodness me.
That won't be going on my TV, that's for sure.
Oh my god.
Do you mean
Although Lookman
I
looks
do think-
decent, though, doesn't he? For Fulham.
He does.
Scott
Right.
Parker is actually doing all right.
Yeah.
I say that they're in a relegation zone, but you know what I mean. Like he's gotten playing all right football.
Some Allardyce needs to win this game. He has to win this game.
Well, he's
If he
been,
doesn't
he's been
win it-
hammered the last few games, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, they got a minus 33 goal difference.
It's mental. I can see Fulham beating West Brom. I'm going 1-0 Fulham on that one, only because I just like the way, at the start of the season, Fulham were atrocious, but I just see them, and both of the squads are fully fit, so, but I see West Brom having a little bit too much. Fulham up front having a little bit too much.
Have they got Tom Kearney back? 'Cause he's really good. I rate him highly. I know he hasn't been.
No, he's out till Feb. I think.
Is he?
Yeah. He's a good little player, he is, isn't
He
But
is.
But I know they've got people like Loftus-Cheek. He remembers that name, eh? I mean,
Oh,
he
I remember the comparisons with Pogba last year.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
that's just the inconsistency. I think that's all that one would have been last season, wouldn't it?
But Lookman has looked really solid. Excuse the pun.
Yeah, he has looked good.
Who else? Ivan Caranaro, even though Wolves didn't want him, and I don't know why. He's actually okay.
Yeah.
Don't go hard on West Brom. They got some good players too. They got Pereira.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 Fulham. They got Carl Grant, and I actually really rate Carl Grant for a striker.
we'll see what
Huddersfield.
happens. I mean, Allardyce knows how to pull some of the games out of the bag. He is the saviour after
think-
all, isn't he?
I think this will be the game he would be looking forward to. This will be. He would have circled this, and when that's the game, we win, we'll survive.
Yeah. Well, he's the master of it, isn't he? So, I still think West Brom are going to get relegated this year. That's my opinion on them. But they've just been battered the last few games, and even Leeds battered them, didn't they? So, I mean,
That was a weird one from Leeds. Yeah, they could lose 6-2, but they played bravely against United.
That's actually
Going out to Crawley in FA Cup, but they were so brave and confident against Manchester United. Come on,
And then
boys.
the pundits love them, don't they?
I don't know why.
It's the type of
All
football
right.
they play. Yeah, it's good to. I know the next game's very much one that you two are going to be focusing on, which is Arsenal versus Man United.
See,
oh my god.
Nervous?
Every hour, my prediction changes. Every hour, I just goddamn day. Every hour.
I'm so nervous. I don't even want to give a prediction.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, isn't it? I think Aubameyang's still going to be out, isn't he? Because he's got those issues
No.
going on. Or is he
No,
gonna be
he's
playing?
back. Yes.
So,
Tierney's also back.
and they've got Martin Odegaard, who looks like he might be starting.
I don't think he'll start. I think he'll be on the bench. He hasn't played in how long?
Yeah, he might just come off in the second half, but we'll see how he goes on. But do you think that United are going to start with McFred at the back?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
hope so.
It provides defensive stability. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but the last time we played Pogba and Matic against a Big Six team, we lost 6-1 to Spurs. And I know there were more circumstances in that. There was the lack of preseason and the red card, but Matic doesn't have the legs to do it himself. And
No, he's got to be gone in the summer, isn't he? Something's got to.
I think
Yeah.
if you see McFred in the midfield, I think the front three would be Pogba, Cavani, and Rashford.
Do you think they
Bruno
won't
as
start with
well.
Martial?
No,
You think they start with Cavani?
yep. Because
that makes
that
sense.
Arsenal defence looks like you can get at it if you offer movement, and what's Cavani known for? Off the ball movement.
Yeah, that makes sense to have Cavani. That's certainly. Do you think Lindelof or Bailly's going to be at the back? It's probably going to be Lindelof, isn't it?
I'm begging this by. I'm not gonna lie. I'm begging this by.
See, I'm in the minority. A minority. I think you go with Lindelof because it's availability over. Yeah, availability over. Wait, what's the saying? The availability over.
No, I know what you're on
reliability
about.
or something. Yeah.
No, I know
So-
I know what you mean. Yeah.
The more available you are, the less injuries you have. The manager's going to pick you more because he can rely on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah,
oh, well,
yeah,
he's never
course.
injured. It's why he picks Maguire and Lindelof because he's got glass legs. Twanzebe, man. Like, he hasn't
That was
kicked off.
terrible against Sheffield United, wasn't it? His positioning was awful.
But
with
then-
Maguire.
You've got to question more. It's like the whole team. There was more.
But the
So
whole
much more.
the whole team was awful against Sheffield. The whole
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, you could feel it after after the first 15 minutes. It just felt a little bit flat, didn't it?
But then if you count Sheffield United's goal, you got to count United's. That's it. It's just my only argument.
That's definitely
But-
one thing I'm gonna count.
But that's for later.
Yeah.
What's the predictions then? I can see Manchester United winning that game, and I reckon it's going to be a 2-1 Manchester United. The only reason why I say that is if you're going to start with Cavani, and you've got Bruno and Pogba behind with Rashford, I think they'll just have a little bit too much firepower for Arsenal. I don't quite know how Aubameyang's going to be playing because of he's gone through. I know they've got Saka,
Mhm.
who looks like a decent little young. prospect.
I rate Saka. I actually
But-
really rate him.
I just think that Manchester United will have a little bit more firepower than Arsenal up front. But what do you guys
Yeah.
think?
I think I went from 1-1, 2-1, 3-1.
It'll change
gonna
in 5
lose
minutes
too.
before the game.
Yeah. My head says 1-1. My heart says 2-1. So, and my gut goes, it's going to be a 0-0.
You know what? The funny thing is, my brother's actually an Arsenal fan,
Oh, what?
and my brother's an
Who
Arsenal
would want to
fan.
be in your house?
Oh my god! And he hasn't bantered me that we lost against Sheffield United because he's scared that we might beat them.
Ollie will demand an absolute reaction. Ollie won't be. Ollie, I
It's a
reckon Ollie will
perfect game,
fuming.
right?
Yes, Ollie will be fuming to lose to Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's
Right.
a perfect game for them. If you go on and destroy Arsenal, then that brings you back into looking like title contenders. But the game against Sheffield United just shows a little bit of frailties,
Yeah,
which shows we're a little bit, lacking something. That extra spark that you need in those games to get you through it. Whereas
right wing.
if you look at Man City, the kind of stuff that they do even if they're having an off day, they can still go and score 3 or 4 goals, and that's what United need if they want to go and win the title. So
Again, I keep saying it's that lack of right wing because if you get a
Oh, yeah,
proper
massive.
right winger, that allows us to be in balance because we now have 2 focal points of attack. Because it's so easy to defend against a lopsided team because everybody knows we attack down the left. So everybody just shifts their defense to the left and there's no one right wing. Like I sent a screenshot on the Discord with like where a right wing should be and I circled it like a right wing should be there. Imagine we had one.
yeah, exactly. You don't have that at the moment, so you're not getting those crosses in, or you're getting
And,
that in behind kind of thing, where someone like Sancho can do for you. But he just
and everybody
burns
calling
face.
for Diallo. Relax, the kid's 18. He's played about 5 first-team fucking games.
It's
Like,
too young
yo,
for him. He needs
way
to
too
develop
young.
first.
Yep.
He needs to maybe bulk up slightly. But
Rumor has it he's playing in the under-23s tomorrow. So
that'd be interesting for you to watch them, won't it? I think that's the way to do it, though. Give him a few games in that kind of environment, and then bring him
Do a
in for like
Palestri.
20 minutes or so. Exactly. So, but that'll be an interesting game, and I'm sure many of our fans on the Discord will be discussing it, or they'll have a meltdown. Or
Come on,
something.
guys. I'm gonna be positive right now. I'm gonna say we're going to win. Man United gonna win 3-0. We're gonna make a
Someone's
statement.
very confident.
sorry about the language, but that one caught me off guard.
Someone
We're gonna
someone's
win
very
3-0.
confident.
I know. I'm not confident. I'm just being positive.
Oh,
I'm not confident at all.
Let's go.
Love
That's
it,
gonna be
guys.
interesting.
Love it. That's my guy. All right, we got another actually interesting game that will I'll peak interest in this. Southampton, Aston Villa. Now they both play wonderful football.
Well, Aston Villa have been a surprise this year, haven't they? With some of the games.
The thing is
I-
with Villa was they relied way too much on Grealish last year, and now they've brought in Ollie Watkins and Ross Barkley. All of a sudden, that weight of Grealish carrying the team is lifted a little
They've
bit.
got John McGinn behind.
Yep.
as
And
well,
it's
so
lifted
good
off
midfield.
Grealish. It's lifted off Grealish, and you can see how he plays. He just plays. And I love watching Jack Grealish. I want him at United.
No, I think most United fans do, but that's one to be seen in the summer. If that happens, it probably depends on what happens.
A certain French midfielder named.
Well, I think that this is going to be a good game. It's because Southampton also they set themselves up right, so and they've had a few good results. I know they lost to Arsenal, and Arsenal are in good form, but they've got some good players up front. So I like that Adams, and obviously Inks is a little bit off form.
Ings is world class.
He's a great player.
Ings is world class.
I wanted Jesse Lingard to go to Southampton. The reason I say that is he would fit Hassan Hüttl's style perfectly. Pressing from the front, energy, stamina. Like he would. That's what Ralph wants, right?
Yeah. So, but for me, I don't know to go with this game. I mean, Aston Villa lost 3-2 at Burnley, didn't they? I mean, Burnley have had a little bit of form.
That was a shock.
But I'm gonna go draw. I'm gonna say 2-2.
I'm just gonna bring some breaking news on the preview. West Brom have reached an agreement to sign OK Yukazlu from Celta Vigo on loan.
Well, does that change the West Brom Fulham game? Maybe we'll see.
No. He needs to be registered.
He's not going to get registered today, no.
No. What a name. Okay.
Southampton have been getting a lot of injuries recently.
I'm going to go 2-2 Southampton Villa.
Yeah, 2-2 is that as well.
I'm going 2-1 Aston Villa.
Ooh.
I think Southampton, with the amount of game time they're playing, the way they set out, the amount of injuries, I don't think they'll be able to cope with the class of Jack Grealish, and their defense is a bit leaky at times, especially when the game carries on. Well,
they've got Vestergaard out, haven't they? And he's been crucial to for Southampton at the back. He's been quality for them. So I just think Southampton will score. I just think they're going to cancel each other out, just based on what their kind of style of football is. But I think it's been an interesting game. I might watch that, to be honest.
I'll probably watch most of the football tomorrow.
Let's see. Well, you love it, don't
no,
you?
I'm definitely not watching Newcastle.
I will. I'll watch it all. Like every game, I'm proper like.
I think you got like four. You have like 4 TVs on. Just put all your football on.
Yes.
And then you're sitting there.
It's great. Like the you ever seen in like the movies where the guy's got like 50 fucking computer screens? That's just me like watching all the football.
It's brilliant. I can imagine that, to be honest. Yeah, so that'd be a good game. But I think Chelsea versus Burnley will be an interesting one as well, because Burnley have got a little bit of form at late, and obviously Chelsea now have got a new manager, so it'd be interesting to see how he sets his team up for that game and who he starts with. What do you guys think? I think Chelsea will win it, but Burnley will have a good go.
Oof, that's actually it. I think Chelsea will win it, not just because they're the better team. I think because of the quality they have.
Yeah,
it
looks like. They drew against Wolves, but I think that Tuchel will win that game. I just think that the way he'll set his team up will be a little bit stronger, and depends who he starts up front, doesn't it? Is he going to start with Werner up front, or is he going to start with Abraham or Giroud? It will be interesting for that, and obviously.
See, the issue with Werner is he was better in a 2. If you watched Leipzig last year, they played with 2 up top with Poulsen and Werner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so surprised by him, how his performances have been since he's come in, because everyone was, all the Chelsea fans were happy when he came, and he just hasn't performed at all at the Premier League. And I know that people were talking about his goal assist with Havertz has not been too bad, but they've been against cup games, so I don't really count those. But
Morecambe
I mean,
and
missing
Luton.
more than he's scoring. Yeah, exactly. So, but he's missing open goals. His confidence looks shot already.
Then I mentioned it the other day in the Discord. Doesn't help Lampard throws you under the bus every other game.
Yeah.
Right? You need a manager that just puts your arm around you and goes, don't worry, it'll come. Sometimes. Like, look at Shaw. Under Mourinho, he was shocking. But Mourinho kept throwing them under the bus. Yes, man management is crucial in football.
Yeah. Well, Tunchel looks like the kind of guy that will do that. So maybe we'll start to see what actually Werner's made of, and Havertz obviously young and they've got Pulisic and stuff. I just think they'll have too much firepower for Burnley. I'm going with Chelsea, a 2-0 win against Burnley.
I'm going to go 3-0 win to Chelsea.
Yeah, I agree with that there. I think Chelsea would just be too much for Burnley and they'd win 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Chelsea are going to get top 4 this year?
No.
No?
I think
it's still so early to tell. Like, this season is so close, it hurts.
It's annoying, isn't it? Because, I mean, it's entertaining for me because as a neutral, because I get, you see games can change positions in the top 8. Someone who could be 8th could go into the top 4. And look at where West Ham are, it's crazy. So, I mean, that's across all 5 leagues. If you see some of the leagues, the points total is quite low this year. But and there's been some interesting results, hasn't there? So
I'm sure. I'm sure Bayern didn't win in their first 4 games or something. Some of this shit kind of that.
Yeah, PSG lost a couple of first games as well, didn't they? They lost the first 2 games.
Mental. 2 months ago, we thought Arsenal were going to get relegated. So this season has been wild.
I think that was wishful thinking from a few of the United fans, if I'm honest. But I know it's crazy because Arsenal are only, what are they? They're on the same points as Chelsea, or they're just a little bit lower? They're on the same points.
Same points, yeah.
Which is mental, and then they're 3 points just below Spurs. So everything can change, but I think Chelsea might just probably end 5th or 6th, probably. But we'll see what happens. We just don't know, do you? Can't predict it this year. But another game coming up after that, well, in between, is Leicester versus Leeds.
That's going to be a cracking game, actually.
Yeah.
But
Vardy's out there, isn't he?
Leeds can't defend to save their life.
Yeah, and Maddison, but they haven't got Vardy though.
Right. I think Maddison will continue his goal scoring form.
And also, Harvey Barnes has been excellent this season, don't you think?
I think him and Tielemans as well. Tielemans has been quality for Leicester.
Fofana.
Yeah. Well, he looks like a good sign. Is he going to be another 80 million sign for United?
No.
Oh my God! Don't say that.
Scarred for life.
I think it's going to be a heavy whip. Do you know what? You might disagree with me, but I'm going to go 4-3 Leicester.
4-3?
4-3.
4-3?
Yeah. 4-3 Leicester. That's what I'm going with.
I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester.
You know, I actually see a lot of goals in this game. I'm going to go with 5-2 Leicester.
Jeez. It'll be a good game, actually.
Because I said last podcast that Leeds would win 5-0. And they lost 1-0 to Brighton, so who knows what's going to happen with that game. I think Leicester will be a little bit too strong for Leeds. In terms of what you said about the defence stuff, I think Leicester and Maddison will just unlock it. Bombs bombing down as well. So I see Leicester winning that game with ease.
Yeah. And I hate the whole narrative about Bielsa and stuff. I'm like, relax. Like, chill. Please.
I don't think that is a Bielsa fan.
No.
It's not obvious, is it?
No, I like his football. I enjoy his football. It's great to watch. It's the media that go. You know what I mean? Like rimming, and I'm like, can you not? They got battered 6-2 by United. Like,
Yeah. Leeds are just a popular figure, aren't they? Because of where they were previously. I think people enjoy the fact they're back in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But the next game is, and I think this will be a tricky game for Liverpool, is West Ham versus Liverpool.
I'm going to go West Ham 2-1.
Ooh.
Right off the block. Oof.
Now, the reason why?
Go on.
Lingard. Jesse Lingard. Nah, I'm joking.
Was it 2 goals for Lingard?
Nah, that Liverpool defence looks horrendous.
But they haven't got recognised centre backs at the moment, have they? Well, they've got that Reece guy, but that's not.
And
Matip's out again, isn't he?
And West Ham will see that and go, we can go for this. We can win.
Yeah. And Antonio up front as well. He looks strong.
West Ham have had more rest than Liverpool, so fitness-wise, that's going to be interesting.
Jared Bowen will have a field day.
He's a good player, isn't he? How much he cost him? It was about 15 million or something like that, wasn't he?
Yeah, from Hull.
Good little signing he was. I personally think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
That's what I think as well.
Personally, Liverpool had a good game yesterday, but there was a few controversial stuff which we'll talk about VAR at the end. But I think Liverpool will score in this game. I think it depends on who scores first in this game. Who's going to win it? If West Ham scores first, we'll see what happens for them. Be an interesting game. I'll watch that one for sure because they're both near the top 4, aren't they? So it's going to be interesting. But then we've got is it the miserable one or the happy one? We don't know. Spurs against Brighton.
Brighton Spurs. Brighton a weird team, like absolute weird, and I
actually
get it.
think Brighton could beat Tottenham.
They've done it. They've done it before, haven't they?
Especially now that Harry Kane's out.
He's out till mid-Feb. Mid-Feb, yeah.
Jesus.
His usual injury, though, isn't it?
It's every year, isn't it?
Yeah. He's so susceptible with that. I know they've got Son. I just think they'll have a little bit too much firepower for Brighton. I just think they've got they've got Son up front, and I think Son will do something in that game. But I don't think it'll be easy, but I'm going with a 2-1 Spurs in that game, to be honest.
I'm going to go 2-0 Brighton. No.
Oh my god.
Sticking your neck out, though.
Oh my god.
I'll stand on this hill. I'll stand on this hill.
I think Daz has had something special for breakfast.
No.
No comment.
No comment on that one. But we'll see.
We'll see.
I actually think it's going to be quite an even game.
Yeah, because under Graham Potter, Brighton are actually nice, fun to watch to a point.
I can't see them beating Spurs. I know you said 2-0, but I just can't. I think this game Spurs will win this game.
Spurs will miss Kane. Watch.
Yeah, but they play through him, don't they, quite a lot? So they haven't got him up front. So where the goal's going to come from? I know Son will be there, but
But Son doesn't like the ball to feel. He likes to make the runs and people to service him.
Can I make a statement here? Enough isn't said about Bale flopping at Spurs. Enough isn't said about it.
It was so surprising that he went there, and it looks like he's doing the same as what he did in Real Madrid, just sitting on the bench.
Playing golf.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, there's
I'm
nowhere
really
open.
surprised by Bale, to be honest. I thought he'd come there and steamroll it in the Premier League, where he's been used to, but he's not the same player, is he? What's happened in Madrid, but they're definitely not going to extend his contract.
No.
He's going to, for sure, after this, he's going to go back to golf being his number one priority, and then Wales and then Madrid. So I think that's going to happen again, to be honest.
I'm sure the same was Wales, golf, Madrid.
Yeah, something like
Where
that.
does Gareth Bale actually go after Tottenham? There's actually
China.
Oh yeah.
China, that's where the big money is. So then China, but he was close to going to China at one point, but it just fell through because Madrid couldn't get a replacement. But
They didn't need a replacement.
That's just what they are, isn't it? So, or they were just stubborn with it. Perez, he's quite a stubborn champ. So,
Do Tottenham have an option to extend his contract?
no, but they can talk and buy it and not have an option to buy. But I don't see them picking that. I don't see them doing that. He's flopped massively.
Then it's Spurs. You never know.
No, I mean they get Gelson Fernandez. He looks like they terminated it. So,
yeah,
we'll
they got
see.
the wrong Fernandez.
They got the wrong Portuguese Fernandez, haven't they? That's for sure. He hasn't done anything. Neither's Bergwijn, though. I mean, they've had some weird signings, in my view, over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, time will tell. There's still half a season to go. You never know. It might turn around for Bale, but especially now that Kane's out, he might have a bit more of a chance. But he's going to have to prove himself.
That's why I said I don't see Spurs winning. They rely way too much on individual brilliance.
I think at this rate you could say Daniel James is better than Gareth Bale.
Oh God, really?
If you look at the stats,
But those two need to play golf together. I think we has. I'm not sure. Well, that's a discussion for another day.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Bale's had more clubs than Tiger Woods.
Oh God. Right. Well, the interesting thing is, and that's all the fixtures at the weekend. But what we have noticed in the last few weeks is VAR and the refs, and they've been absolutely shocking. And some of the decisions they've made have been as terrible, and it's highlighted a few issues. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't pick it up. I just want to know your thoughts around VAR, how the refs are doing stuff in the game and making those mistakes. What do you guys think?
you know what? Personally, I like the concept of VAR. I like the concept, but the problem with it is that it's never been consistent. The decisions they've made have never been consistent. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think the refs know how to fix it. Use it correctly. Because I don't think they fully know the rules. Like the offside goal that City got, the Rodri one, where he tackles Mings. If Mings knows he's there, I don't think he controls it with his chest, right? You don't do that. You'd leave it to your keeper, right? Because if he goes for it, he's offside. And then they go, now that City have done it, actually, it's now going to be offside. You go, well, that's unfair, right? And then...
it's disappointing, is my view, because how long we've had VAR for a while now, haven't we, Darth?
About a year.
Yeah. And it seems to be going backwards, in my opinion.
They should do what they see when there's fans in stadium. They should do what they do with like the rugby. Show the replay on the giant screen and what's going on, and what they're talking about. Just show it, because then fans won't be as it's shocking, blah blah blah. And ever since Klopp made the statement about United having more pens, refs have been so against United. It's weird.
my God,
seems to be an agenda,
I was just
doesn't
about
it?
to do the exact same thing. It's actually weird how now it's no longer Manchester United. That's what everyone used to say.
It's not. It's
but you see, I think people get mixed up with that. And United are a very attacking team, and those are justified fouls. Some of those stuff, and the refs should not be scared to give those decisions, because they are the right decisions.
The only one that's probably not a foul is the Villa one, where Fernandez steps on Konza and gives the pen, and I was like, you're all right there, Chief.
To be honest, at the time, I was completely sold on that it was a foul. So,
I don't know what screen you were watching. VAR for me, I think the refs need more training on it. Personally. They need to be more assertive in their decisions.
I don't think the refs are competent in England anyway, and it's been like that for years.
It's just highlighting them all though now, isn't it?
Yes. Like the foul, they don't give a foul on De Gea yet, give a foul on Ramsdale when Maguire's looking at a ball. How are you gonna call that a foul? Like,
do you think they're gonna? Do you think they'll act on it? Do you think they'll do anything because of the fact that this has been happening for weeks now, and it's costing decisions?
I think in the summer we'll see some changes.
I was going to say it's too late in the season to make any changes.
What would you like? What would you like them to do? What would you like them to review or put the refs to make them more competent? Because before they could get away with it.
refs.
New refs.
just new refs. Get rid of
sack them all. Get new ones then off the street.
Actually, Kevin Friend, and John Moss. John Moss. Jesus Christ.
He's not been up to scratch for ages, has he?
Oh my God. That guy wants to become a manager. Imagine that. Imagine John Moss. You're watching. He's on your TV and he's there giving instructions to a player. Oh my days. What would you say?
Like, it's not just United fans that are moaning about refs' decisions. It's every fan. Like, we had a Liverpool fan moaning about Firmino's handball to a point. Yeah, what's he meant to do on the handball? But then it's handball because that's the rules, right? But then you go, well, hold on. It's like the Shaw one against Burnley where they should have had a red card, but it brought it so far back because apparently they were checking for a red on Shaw when it wasn't. The ref gave a yellow. Right?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. They need more training. They need to fix up.
I just want to see consistency in their decisions. I think when you go from the Man City Aston Villa game, you gave that decision, and then you go to Manchester United versus Sheffield, and then you see the type of decisions they were given. There's no consistency.
It's not even like he went over to the monitor to check if it was a foul around there. He just didn't.
It's disappointing, it is, because VAR's been in for a little bit of time. It should be consistent already. We shouldn't be seeing these many mistakes. And that's my problem with it, is that they've clearly not been strong enough, or they don't punish the refs the same way as they do with players with fouls. I know that might be a little bit harsh, but they seem to be getting away with a lot of decisions. And that, for me, I know you see some of the biased views, or they don't look at things correctly in the game, and a lot of key things have been missed, and it's costing results, and especially in a close title race.
Mm-hmm.
Those sort of things are going to change who's going to be at the top. So, at the end of the season, they've got to have a serious think about what they want that to be moving forward and how they're going to improve it. Because if they go into next season doing the same thing, people are going to start kicking off. Big time clubs are going to start, rising against them and all sorts of different stuff.
Wait, didn't United complain to the FA about a ref recently? I'm sure we did.
Yeah, and they've got to do something about it. They can't just swipe it under the carpet like they have done in the past. It's not acceptable anymore. So I think let's see with VAR, but if it's the same next year, they need to seriously consider what they're playing at, to be honest. Because
I understand if it's just a ref, if it's just a normal ref, right, and he's got no VAR, and I understand you can make mistakes, fine. But you've got VAR now. There's no fucking excuse for it.
Yeah, there's no excuse.
I think referees are also too embarrassed to go to VAR. I think they feel like a decision based on their point of view and where they see it is more inferior to going over to the monitor and checking if they've made the wrong decision. I think referees are too vulnerable in their capabilities of going to the monitor and checking if they've made the wrong decision or not.
Yeah, well, the more just to finish off, but the more decisions that they get inaccurate, the more it's going to be featured. So it's one of them. If it continues that way, the amount of decisions they've made against, and in the past without VAR, obviously they made a lot of decisions wrong, but we couldn't we couldn't review it, so we didn't have the spotlight as what they do now. So it'll be an interesting one, and I'll get both of your final thoughts on that. If that's all right.
Yeah, just more consistency. Give it like every week. In fact, this is an idea they should do. See, every week on a Thursday, or every ref should all meet up and go through every decision that was either right or wrong and go, what did you have done? And then they finally agree to do what's right. So like the Rodri offside, some refs could have went, well, I would have given offside because he's offside. And then if like Ramsdale foul, because that's in my head, I wouldn't have given a foul because it's not a foul. Maguire's looking at the ball, but I would have given a foul because of this. But then that's a foul on De Gea, and if you can't see the foul, you go to VAR. Right? They should all meet up, have a meeting, and just talk about it because that's the way to fix it.
Yep, communication.
Mm-hmm.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm the same with Darth. I just want more consistency. You know, I don't want them to be afraid to go to the monitor and actually check if they made the right decision or not.
Yeah.
Because it feels like they're actually afraid to go to the monitor and actually check if they've made the right decision or not.
Let's see. It's going to be an interesting one, but you know, just that brings us to the end of the podcast itself. But what I'll just say to the viewers, obviously we're quite active in the Discord, and these guys will talk a little bit about it. But please come in and we open our arms to all sorts of fans, and anyone that wants to listen to our YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And the graphics is done by Riaz himself. But it's interesting, and we have these kind of debates in our Discord quite a lot. They can be healthy, and sometimes can get a little bit heated. But hey, that's football, isn't it? So, but yeah, please do come in. Please come and listen to our Discord stuff.
Also, ring that bell so you get notifications. So whenever we upload, you get it. Gang.
Yep. Certainly, guys. Well, thank you both today. It was an interesting chat, and speaking to you both about what your predictions are. And let's see. Obviously, my predictions are going to win, but that's one of those things. So
let's not go there.
I think Chris's predictions have become of like a elite type of thing. Feel in the Discord server.
Man's an oracle, I swear.
We'll see, but you might want to put a few bets on if you're listening to this. But thank you for today, guys.
Whoa. Wait. If you get it back, make sure you're over age.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
of course. Well, thank you, guys. Well, that brings us to the end, and see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye. See you guys.